Good morning, afternoon, night, whatever the case may be. Mr. Gatekeeper out here around the northeast end of Georgia. I'm mainly making this video to clear up a few things about these HG, that's Hotel Golf 2879's. I've heard a few people calling them H and Y's. I do not understand where they're getting H and Y from. I've been meaning to ask somebody, but basically, as a lot of y'all know, I've already mentioned this in other videos. About 4 years ago or so, a guy told me about this company, HG Semi, and this was back when Toshibas were still being made. You know, there was no scarce, there was no reason to be trying to find another transistor or anything like that. I was able to get Toshibas for $26.50 a piece if I bought 25 of them. But I'd heard about this company and I could get these transistors for like, shoot man, $12, something like that. So me and a buddy of mine went in and we bought, quite a bit of them, about 50 of them or so. And I started doing some tests with them and stuff, and I quickly figured out that they were so far from being, the quality control was unbelievable. I built a 2-pill with them, popped the pill in them about 2 different times, just driving it a little bit. And then a little bit of time goes on, then I figure out that what it was they're so far from being matched. The devices are so different from each other. The beta value are so different from each other. Once I actually matched a few of them, then they would work decently, but they still were nowhere near as the Toshiba counterpart. So I just kind of let them sit to the side for a little while. Well, anyway, about, 9-10 months ago or so, maybe a little longer, I just had the idea to contact the owner of this company and begin conversating with them. I began sharing with them what we do, and, as I say, our culture, what we do in our hobby out here in America and other countries, but mainly in America, shootouts, competitions, running the living snot out of our boxes. And I told him, I kind of explained to him how important it could be if he could somehow figure out how to make the 2879 as close as possible to the Toshiba counterpart. And he's like, that he had already made a small change to the old style HGs because he got so many complaints, but that he would begin working on a test or two. At that point I didn't know he was going to go a route of 2 different transistors, 2 different styles, kind of 2 different avenues with the same part. Time went on, he sent me some to test. I messaged him back, let him know what I thought about them, where I thought that, they could be stronger at, this and that. At the time, I was not able to acquire the 200 RMS out of 2 transistors. He then let me know that he was going to be basically changing the bottom insulator. Once he changed that bottom insulator, some things changed at that point. So he started making some changes, this and that, and make a long story short, I'm blabbing over here. He kind of went 2 different avenues with 2 transistors, and to use them as a reference so we could say which one is which, he called one the 04-4 and he called the other one the 08-4. So basically those are the 2 that I'm going to be using. I have no problem acquiring the 200 watt RMS per transistor at all. I'm still debating on which one I'm going to be using as my final transistors. I'm leaning closer to the 08-4s at the moment, but there's a possibility of what I might do is actually use one of them as drivers, because it appears that one of them, the gain is a little more higher with lower drive, and the other one is a little bit more higher drive, if you can understand that. Kind of like the 2290B's and the 2290A's. So this is nothing abnormal, y'all, of having three different types of transistors under one logo. Toshiba 2290's had three different types. The regular 2290 with the beryllium oxide used in the insulator, the 2290A, and the 2290B. That's three different types of three different 2290's right there. Toshiba's, they have two different types, I believe. Yes, you got the regular old school 2879, and you got the 2879A. See, there's two different types right there. So basically what you're looking at, one of the main reasons I wanted to make this video is there's been a recent video made by Mr. BI, which was a very interesting video showing the removal, showing the breakdown voltage test of a PP100, a DEI, and an HG. And I was very happy to see the HGs performing the way they were in the video. I knew they would. But he removed the tops, you know, and I could tell he was quite surprised at what was seen. You know, it appeared that the HG and the PP100 were cousins, or shall I say clones, in a sense. That's why one of the main reasons I'm making this video. Alright. The transistors that BBI was checking is what we call the US distros, meaning those are the ones that you can purchase. You can purchase straight off the website, and you've been able to purchase straight off the website, and those particular ones have been sold for quite a while now. An example of a US distro is this one right here. This is a US distro. Okay. Here's a 04-4. Here's a 08-4. Alright. These are the two that I'm using. These two are not the same transistor as this one. Okay? These two are not PP100's. They are two different avenues taken. This is taking a different avenue than this one. They have different characteristics, and they both work well. Alright. There is a fourth one. Here are the last that I have from the original batch that I purchased about 4 years ago or so. Now I want to teach you and show you how you can tell if you've accidentally purchased or acquired some of the older style HGs. Okay, it's real easy to be able to tell. Alright, let me show you this 08-4 right here. The bottom lead is your base. Top lead is the collector. Here's your emitters. Look at the base, flip it over. You see the little indention. Let me zoom in here. Alright, you see that indention? Okay, you're going to find that indention in all the US distro 04-8s and the 08-4s. I mean the 04-4s and the 08-4s. I say that wrong all the time. Alright, now take a look at this one. Here's the old style. Okay. I'm gonna flip it over. As you see, there is no slit in it. That is the simplest, easiest way for you to be able to tell if you've got an older style HG. Now, like I said, these older style ones, I did notice, I still got one matching set of 4. Once you actually match them with either a loop tracer or, you know, whatever method that you use, but you match them, you beta match them or alpha match them. Alpha is what I prefer, but see, these are all matched with a loop tracer. Matching set, well, you can call them a set, but matching group, matching group, matching group. These are here some 2290's, 1446's. I got 04, 1446's, and 08's. He went 2 different ways there. And the 2290's, I also have 04 and 08's on them too. So that's how you can tell of the older school. Like I said, when you match these, they did work as good as they could work. Let's just put it that way. It definitely worked a lot better than if they wasn't matched, because they were so far from each other. It was amazing. You could just take a diode check with these older ones, and one would, you could tell it took, you know, .54 volts to turn on, and this one over here took like .62. This one over here took like .48. This one, I mean, they were that far from each other. And once I figured that out, I was like, oh my goodness. You know, that's the poor man's way of matching transistors with a diode check. If you can find, you know, 4 transistors that all turn on at the same voltage, they're at least matched at the turn on voltage, right? It's the old school way of doing it. So I just want to make that quick video, and I will leave this video saying, everybody waiting on these HG builds, keep on holding on a little tighter, because here they come. This is just the first shipment right here of two more. I've got to use these up first. It won't take too long. But we got some 4 pills on the way, 3 pills on the way. We got a lot of 8 pills on the way. Got 2 16 pills on the way. And I'm happy with these transistors. Even I've heard from a very reputable person, any transistor that has ever came out of China, these top them all. These are the best thing that we have right now coming out of China. Okay, I haven't been to a site in a while. I know that he's going to start selling the 04s and the 08s soon. I don't know if he started yet or not. But I'm currently selling these here and there, but these particular ones are not for sale. Okay, these are all used up. If you are having trouble or do want to purchase, you know, you can at this point, till I pretty much know which ones I'm gonna use for which, if I was you, I would just purchase the 08-4s. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with either or. It just seems that the 08-4s seem to have a little higher gain at lower drive, shall I say. And if you want to make a straight out high drive, a good high drive box, go with the 04s. If I was going to make a 5-pill all 2879's at the moment, I'd use a 08 as a driver, the 04s as the finals. Okay, if I was wanting to make just a good lower drive box, I ain't got to worry about hitting super hard. If it's got decent gain at lower drive, I'd go with the 08s. Alrighty, I was just wanting to kind of make that to clear that up, because I've heard a couple people, hey man, you're using PP100's, and no, I'm not using the US distros. Actually, out of all these I have one US distro left, and that's that one I showed you. The only reason I got that left because that was I think the first label I got sent to me that had a label on it, because I got quite a few. The ones that was sent for testing, you know, did not have labels. Like, for example, let's see, that one's full of 04s right there. Let's see, I think this is them. Here's the last two I have, or the last four I have from testing. So that's the way they look when they were sent to me for testing. You would just label them like that. As you see, and match them up with a loop tracer. And as you see, matching quad. Alright, so, well, that is a matching quad. This was a matching quad. See how this is 102, 102. These two are from one quad. These two were from another quad set. And I actually used the two. I test them, but I use these two for a 2-pill build and those two for another 2-pill build. They're still pretty close match, but I'm just going to play it safe, and I'm just going to use these as absolute match as possible. I'm like, in a way, I'm gonna kind of use them the way you would use a DEI. Be paranoid. Don't drive, you know, don't overdrive them, this and that. But at the same time, with the 2 transistor amp we did for testing, I mean, we drove the piss out of that amp, man. Mr. 073 ran it for about 2.5 months for me testing that jugger. We put a trimmer on the input and the output. He purposely detuned the amplifier so it would have reflect in the amp. He beat the snot out that amp, man. Beat the snot out of it. Used it as a driver. Got out there, shot hardcore DEX. It didn't die. It didn't. I got it back, made the video, put it on eBay. And if the person that purchased that amp is watching this video, contact me. Let me know how that box is going for you. It's it ain't a candy painted, it's a black painted in the X-Force case. I like the 2-pill X-Force cases. I think I'm gonna start using them for my 2-pill builds. But yeah, holler back at me. So far I've got about 5 or 6 2-pill builds out there. One's a base box. They're all going good, no problems at all. Have not had one single transistor blown. Nobody everybody's letting me know they're working well. Here comes a 4-pill. We got a 4-pill going to Washington State. He's going to run the snot out of that right there. We got put 4 of them in a Texas Star. That guy is really enjoying that box. No issues at all with that either. So far so good. But let's see I'm working sets of 6 and 8 and 16. Right now I'm 80% backing these transistors. I'm just going to be real with you. I'm 80% backing them. Once I see how they work in sets of 8, 6, 4, 16, I'm going to slowly creep up to 85, 90, 95 till I'm backing them 100%. All we're wanting is just a replacement. I'm not trying to take the dang limelight in this. I mean, I ain't trying to put my own label on these transistors. I could have. I had the option to put my own labels on these. But that ain't what I'm trying to do. That is not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to contribute to the whole scene. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to take no limelight or nothing like that. That ain't what it's about. I just want a good transistor that I can use in the 12 volt when this Toshiba's completely gone. And it's almost gone, y'all. It ain't got much longer at all for sure now. RF Parts got lucky, found some of their old suppliers to buy up some more of their Toshibas in this past year, but there is not much more left. So, you know, we've got other transistors we can use, yes, but it'd be nice if we could keep the 2879 alive. Hey, other companies are making tubes and this and that. Multiple, you know, companies making the same tube. Why can't we have multiple companies, or at least one company making the 2879 and make it just as strong. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is about that, to be honest with you. But we got some 50 volt stuff coming up, some 28 volt stuff coming up. Yes, I'm a little behind in that, but hey man, I can only go at the pace that I go. God bless 73rds. Here we go, y'all. Keep your fingers crossed. And I'm good and I'm gone. Bye, bye, bye.